Hey everyone, in this video I want to talk about something from my last year of school. As you can read in the title of this video, it's about a specific girl from my class. At the start of my last year of school, I had 4 girls in my class. 2 of them switched into a different class right at the start, and the other 2 girls got bullied by many boys from our class. And by this I mean insulting and stupid talking, and also touching and getting hurt physically. I saw both girls crying a few times. One of the girls also switched classes a bit later, and then the boys focused on the other girl. Our teachers also noticed it, but besides telling the boys to stop a handful of times, nothing else happened. No punishment or so. It didn't take that long for the boys to find a great nickname for her. They called her Emo. Why? Because she always wore black clothes. She also painted her nails black, and her hair was a mixture of black and a really dark red. They also joked about that she's an emo, because she's cutting her arms and so, and that's why she never pulls her sleeves up. Even today it sounds so stupid, especially because she did sport in a normal shirt. She definitely had some cuts or scratches on her arms. But back then I also often had scratches on my arms and so. Sometimes because the idiots from my school had a lot of fun cutting others with their scissors and so. But most of my scratches came from our cats. Many girls back then also liked to pinch me on my arms, but in my last year of school this didn't happen anymore. Since the other girls switched classes, the emo girl sat alone on the table. She also sat at the front of the class on the left side. I sat on the opposite side of the class right next to the window. It also didn't matter if we sat in the classroom, in the metal work area, in the sports hall, or on the schoolyard. She got bullied everywhere. Of course, there were also moments where no bullying happened, and these moments were great. But these moments happened more rarely. During class, when I heard all the stupid talking and so, I saw that she tried to ignore it and focused on the class stuff like math for example. But at the same time, I saw how annoyed and sad she looked. Every time she talked back, they bullied her even harder. Often enough, the idiots threw trash at her, pushed her, touched her in specific spots and also punched her and so. Sometimes she cried in the classroom, which led to even more stupid talking, but sometimes she also left the class. Most of the time, our main class teacher wasn't inside the classroom. Mostly he told us what we should do, and then he walked into a different room and did some work on his PC. When he came back and asked where she is, he knew why and continued with class. He basically allowed her to leave the room, and he rarely forced her back inside. But he also never gave these idiots a punishment, which was really bad. Often enough, the idiots pushed her around. Sometimes it was just one push, with some stupid talking, but often enough they pushed her really hard against the wall, chairs and tables, and also onto the floor. In this entire year, 2 boys sat next to me during class and we hated this shit so much. But we couldn't really do anything besides explaining everything to the teachers when they asked us about what happened. On one day in the morning, we waited in front of the classroom for our teacher, and when he arrived and opened the door, he told me to follow him in a bit. Then he told everyone what they should do, and I walked with him to the other room. He told me that he knows what's happening inside the classroom, and it is shit, and I agreed. Then he asked me if I would like to sit next to her, but not to defend her. Instead, he wanted me to be a barrier between her and the idiots. Maybe that will reduce the bullying a bit. I said sure, we can try it. Something I need to say here is, our class teacher partly decided where we sit in the classroom, and he also didn't want us to switch seats with others. He wanted that everyone will always sit at the same spot. And when I walked back to the classroom and sat down next to her, she looked very confused at me and asked me what I'm doing. I said that our teacher wants me to sit next to her, and she said, I don't need help with them. And I said, I'm not sitting here to defend you. And then I sat down next to her. This was still really early in this year, and this was the 4th time or so that we talked. And I think you can guess what happened next, right? Yes. The bullying continued, and now they had one more person to bully. Me. But I tried to ignore it as best as possible. Here and there she asked me about the class stuff, and I tried to help her with it. And when the idiots saw that we sat a bit closer and talked and also joked, they found a new way to annoy us. Look at them, they are so in love, they fuck every day. These are only a few of the things they said to us, but I think I don't need to talk more about it. At that time, I also started to smoke, and during the breaks, she also chilled with me a few times and we smoked together. I still remember the first time she walked to me on the schoolyard. She walked to me, I said hey, and she also said hey. Then we simply stood together for a minute or so without talking, and then she said to me that all these sons of bitches are so annoying. I agreed and we kept talking and also joked. She also said that it's so annoying that they call her emo because she is not an emo. It's her favorite style, and I said that I'm not counting her as an emo, and that I would wear the same stuff. She also told me that she isn't cutting herself. The scratched marks are there because of other reasons. On a different day, when we chilled together during the break, we talked, and at some point she got a bit crazy and asked, why can I talk normally with you and not with anyone else? And I said because I'm not like these sons of bitches. Normally I'm not talking like that. But because she called them that, I thought it would fit. The bullying during class continued. They also pushed me against her here and there. But instead of fighting back, I simply asked if she got hurt and tried to keep ignoring all of this stuff. But now I will talk about one of the worst things that happened in this year. We sat in a classroom and did our work. The idiots joked around and one of them walked around the classroom. At some point, the emo girl stood up and walked to the trash can to throw some paper away. On her way back, the idiot talked shit and insulted her. And when she talked back, he got angry and talked even more shit and also punched her. She said that he should stop, but he talked more shit and tried to touch her on her chest and between her legs. Then he pulled on her and she tried to escape, and then this idiot squeezed her really hard on the left side of her chest and also scratched her there. Then she started crying and ran outside. Then I got up, kicked him in his belly, he also fell down, and then I ran after her. I saw her at the end of the hallway, ran to her, and said that we should run upstairs in case the idiots will follow us. On the upper floor, we walked through the glass door and sat down. I asked her how she feels, and she said it hurts a lot. Then she moved her shirt and bra up, and I saw 3 big scratches on the left side of her left breast. And the scratch in the middle was the biggest and deepest, and it was also bleeding. I said that there are really big scratches and some blood is also running down, and she said, great. We stayed upstairs until the next break and talked. She also told me that she isn't crying because it hurts, but because it reminded her of something. I will not talk more about this, but yeah. Specific things can bring up memories and strong feelings. After the break, she talked with our class teacher and was allowed to go home. Then our teacher wanted to talk with me. I walked to his room and explained to him what happened. And then he said, "I know. And I'm proud of you." And then he said that I did the right thing. Instead of beating up this idiot, I only kicked him away and went to her and stayed with her to keep her safe. And then he said again that he is proud of me. And then we went back to class, and because she went home, I was allowed to sit on my old seat again. And shortly after this, she switched to a different school. On a different day during wood class, my wood teacher wanted to talk with me alone. We walked to the hallway and he sat down on a chair, smiled at me and said that he heard what I did. And I said okay. And then he said that he is proud of me. He also said that these people in the classroom are idiots, and I did the right thing. Instead of being like these idiots and starting fights, I did nothing. And when it was time to do something, I did something, giving this idiot what he deserved and following her to keep her safe. In some way I was unsure what to say, but this was mainly because I didn't know what to say besides okay. He said a few more of those things, and then he asked me, "It felt good, right?" And I said no, it's bullshit. Then he said a few more things and asked me again, "It felt good, right?" Giving this idiot what he deserved. And I said no, it's stupid. I don't want to kick people and I don't want to defend people. This is all stupid. During this entire talk he smiled at me, and after he said a few more things at the end, he said again that he is proud of me and that we can go back inside now. Even today I'm not proud of what I did back then. The only thing that I could count would be that I was nice to her while most people from our class were bad to her. But it doesn't make much sense because I didn't talk in a special way or so. I talk normally, just like I talk with everyone else. I can say that it was good to follow her, but I'm not proud of it, because all this stuff only happened because of this useless shit that no one needs. As far as I know, no one got a real punishment or so. I also didn't got punished, even though I kicked him and kicking someone like this is bad. When I kicked him, I didn't try to get him away from her, no. She was outside and I kicked him because he hurted her, but I'm not a person who should give him a punishment or what he deserved. I can't say that I'm happy about any of the stuff, but I can only hope that she had a better time on the other school. Have a good day.